Brian, tonight the flag outside Chardon High School flies at half-staff as this city mourns both the loss of its innocents and one of its own. Just after 7:30 this morning, shots rang out in the cafeteria of Chardon High School.
Attention Chardon Rescue, we have an active shooter at the high school.
Inside, a single shooter opened fire, sending students and teachers scrambling for safety.
There was a lot of running, a lot of screaming. I heard a bunch of shots fired.
5 students were shot before 2 teachers managed to chase the suspect from the building. TJ Lane, who comes to Chardon to take the bus to a local vocational school, was arrested by heavily armed police without incident a few minutes later. Students were evacuated to a nearby middle school. It was here where frantic parents came in search of their children.
Absolutely scared out of my mind. It's a very difficult thing to know that you can't be there to help them in a time like that.
Amid the tearful reunions came the news all had been dreaded. Danny Permiter, who studied computer tech at the vocational school, was dead. His family released this statement. "We are shocked by this senseless tragedy. Danny was a bright young boy who had a bright future ahead of him."
My deep heart goes out to the families of the 5 victims.
My ear.
Nate Mueller's ear was grazed by a bullet.
I was actually friends with him up until 8th grade, and he kind of got into the gothic phase and kind of silenced himself.
Terrified students quickly turned to social media to find out about friends and console one another. Sat in my classroom listening to people calling parents and crying, thinking about movies I've seen of 911. This stuff actually happens. Finally being evacuated. Hashtag thank God. Scariest thing I've ever experienced. Love you all. Police and the FBI have cordoned off the school while the investigation continues as they continue to search for a motive behind a shooting that has left this Cleveland suburb in shock.
And I hope every parent, if you haven't hugged or kissed your kid in the last couple days, you take that time.
And this evening, 2 of the shooter's victims remain in critical condition. One is serious, the other is stable. Many area churches will remain open here this evening for memorial services. Brian?
Kevin Tibbles in Chardon, Ohio, starting off our coverage tonight. Kevin, thanks. And a member of our family here at NBC News has family roots in Chardon, Ohio. Chris Jansing is here with that. Listening to you talk about it, by the way, it reminded us so much of all the places where we grew up in this country.
Anywhere USA. I did grow up near Chardon. My brother lives there. I've watched 4th of July fireworks in the parking lot of that high school. Chardon is small town USA. But the question isn't just how could it happen here, it's how do we stop it?
Even before Eric Harris and Dylan Klebold killed 12 classmates and 1 teacher at Columbine High School, experts developed a psychological profile of attackers that's startlingly consistent. They're almost exclusively boys, often described after the fact as loners.
Who seem to be more isolated by their peers at the school, who seem to be more withdrawn, who seem to lose interest in things that were previously pleasurable to them, so they stop being interested in playing the guitar or doing things that they used to like doing.
Of course, the vast majority of students fitting this profile will never become violent. But these common characteristics are often a first clue that, combined with better training of police and school officials, have led to many plots being thwarted. Just in 2011, for example, on August 5th near New Orleans, later that month in Tampa, Florida, and in Astoria, Oregon in November. In all 3 cases, officials were tipped off to disturbing Facebook postings and stopped students allegedly planning deadly attacks. More recently, January 26, 2012, in Roy, Utah, a student worried about a text message tipped off police who foiled a bomb plot. Clues provided by social media have changed the game, helping identify that rare individual who goes from being disconnected to dangerous.
So what kids should do is take heed of those warnings that should go to adults. Those adults then can talk to the kids.
The impact of increased awareness has been significant. In 1992, there were 40 fatal school shootings. In the past 7 years, the total number of fatal shootings has been half that.
Yeah,
Brian?
they are in for a tough time in Ohio. Chris Jansing, thank you for that. We turn